Quantum Conversations, your portal to the inner realms. Access infinite possibilities, infinite mastery, and infinite love. Mind-expanding, heart-opening conversations with some of the greatest spiritual teachers, luminaries, and healers of today's world. Usher in new earth by living in your sacred heart. Quantum Conversations is brought to you by acoustichealth.com, home of music from the universe, online healing retreats, and this program. Claim your free registration to daily shows at acoustichealth.com. acoustichealth.com, your portal to the inner realms. Our program starts shortly. Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. And welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I hope that you can feel the incredible love that you are when we take time to come within and to be still and to be silent. We feel that great love bubbling up from within. So as you join in this space today, just take a deep breath. And as you exhale, coming into the stillness that you are, feel your love and your light. You are love. I'm Loren Gailey, and today I am so pleased to offer this very special episode. We are with a psychic medium. Her story is remarkable. She is a very special person in what she's gone through on a physical level. A couple of near-death experiences. She survived leukemia 2 times and now has a foot in both worlds, the spirit world and the physical world. And today, Jane Dance is here to talk about angels and spirit guides and her own personal journey as her life as a medium. Let's welcome Jane Dance to Quantum Conversations. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Loren. Thank you so much for having me.
I love your name. Is that your real name, or did you change it along the way?
Yes and no. It is actually my real name. I got married. That was his last name, and divorced. So I got married and divorced for the last name. So I just kept it.
And
so
what a beautiful name. Yes, Jane Dance. Dancing on the waves of love, dancing on planet Earth. What a gift, then, from your husband of the past. Beautiful.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was.
I would like to say that for those who are listening today to this episode, if you would like to interface with Jane, she's going to be taking callers. We're going to hear a little bit of her story and what's up with her life as a medium. But if you're on the call, or if you'd like to be on the call, go to acoustichealth.com and under Quantum Conversations, click on Live on Air if you're not already there, and you'll come to the web page and join by either web call or phone call, and you can interface with Jane and ask a question, one question, and she simply just needs a first name, and you'll be on your way. So that is coming up in our episode. But first, let's talk about Jane. Jane, this is remarkable. Surviving leukemia twice. As you share your story, I want to put the big perspective on when this happened in your life. It happened in a great gateway, the gateway of 2000. Share your story with us, because that was really your awakening.
It was definitely. Just to backtrack a little bit, my dad, he died of brain cancer in 1996. And he was a scientist, he was a geologist.
Yeah.
Yes. And him and I are the only people in our family that have ever had cancer. And then when he died, I wasn't feeling very well. Probably in December 1999, I wasn't feeling very well. And it just progressed along, and by the time March 2000 came along, I was misdiagnosed 4 times by 4 different doctors. And I had bruises the size of my legs, 20-minute nosebleeds. I'd brush my teeth, and you wouldn't know I had any toothpaste in there because I'd only spit out blood, and a lot of fatigue. And eventually I was given a blood test, and I remember seeing, the doctor said, you need to go to the hospital. And I remember being in the hospital in the emergency, and it was really busy, and a nurse was talking to me, and she had my file, and there was an emergency. So she threw the file down, and I just decided to pick it up, and I read it. And although I don't understand medical terminology, it said something like irregular cells or leukocytes or something like that in the blood. And I knew then and there that I had leukemia.
That'd be scary. Was that scary for you? Absolutely, right? This might sound strange, but it actually wasn't. It was more relief that there was a reason behind these strange ailments that I was having. Okay.
So I moved into the hospital, and I mean literally moved into the hospital. I lived there for 3 months in 2000, sorry. I lived there for 3 months. I was very, very, very sick. When I hear about people these days that have cancer and they're walking around and they're breathing the air and they're going shopping and, living, I didn't have that luxury. I lived in the hospital 3 months. I ate there, slept there. Everything that could go wrong did. I had infection after infection. I had blood clots in my neck. When I hear about people these days that have cancer and they're walking around and they're breathing the air and they're
30 pounds.
Going shopping and
eating,
living.
At one point, the doctor said to me,
I lived in the hospital
it looks like
3 months.
somebody took a cheese grater to the inside of your mouth.
There. Everything
because I had so many mouth sores.
I had infection after infection.
Eating because everything
I had blood clots in my neck. When I hear about people
and when I go on day passes with sickle I dropped probably 20 turning ambulances. I remember 2 times where at one point the doctor said, it's interesting, once in 2000, once in 2001, somebody took a cheese grater the inside of your mouth. I had gone home because I had daily mouth sores. I had infection after eating because everything and I had lost my hair.
When I hear about you fingernail, I had cancer, I dropped probably 20 I had gone home on a day and I remember 2 times where at one point the doctor said, it's interesting, once in 2001, somebody took a cheese grater I began to get sick. I had gone home because I had daily mouth vomiting. And then I ended up and I started to get those. And I had lost my hair. My mom actually, she could see that there was something wrong, and she actually pushed me against the wall. So I had gone home down the wall because I was thinking, and I was and at one point the doctor was called the interesting once in 2001, there was chemotherapy, everything. I began to get sick. I had gone home your sight and your smell, your hearing, and then I ended up and I started to get those. And I had lost my hair. My mom actually, I remember lying on the floor and there was something wrong in the hallway. She actually pushed me against the wall. And the paramedics were down there because I was thinking I can't find her pulse. And I heard that. And I just got to worry to keep looking over there. Like I don't hear sense. I had gone home your sight and eventually hearing. And then I ended up, found it. And I had my mom came and I was lying on the floor and there was something wrong. So then, 3 months later, I was discharged. The leukemia was gone, and I was told that I would have to have either a stem cell transplant or a bone marrow transplant. And because my body is very different, I have a rare blood type, and the type of leukemia that I had was uncommon for someone my age. That leukemia was more geared towards children and more treatable. So I had to go, so I wasn't free and clear from the hospital after being discharged. I had to go back every month to have blood tests to see how my body was doing. And then I graduated every 3 months. And then you graduate every 6 months. And then in June 2001, I went in for a blood test and I didn't come out because the leukemia had returned. And this time it was in 70% of my body. 70% of my body. So I was taken to, a lot of my memory is missing. A lot of it is because the chemotherapy that I was on, the first round I was on a trial and it was on, I had it for 24/7. So when one bag drained into my body, and it's cold going in, it's just very cold, just a cold liquid going in. As soon as that bag drained, they hung up another one. And I remember, I could be wrong, but I remember maybe 3 days worth of chemotherapy went into my body, and then I got burnt from the inside out. And that's pretty painful.
Yes.
So, but now I got really good tans because of that. But
interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Silver lining. Silver lining. So then the second time when I was diagnosed, I lived in the hospital again for 3 months. And again, I had infection after infection. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. I had something called a central line, or it's also known as a heart catheter, and it's this, instead of IVs, they stick it straight into your heart, and then it's got 3 little tubes sticking out, like it just sticks out of your body. And I had multiple of those because I kept getting infections. And then I had multiple bone marrow aspirates where basically what they do is you lie on your side and they stick a needle into your thigh, basically, to see how much bone marrow you have, or to see, how much cancer is in there. So I had multiple of those. And then one night, and I was told this by my family years later, that one night my family was called, so my sister and my mom was called to my hospital room to come quickly because I wasn't going to make it through the night because I was just so sick. And I'm sure that was terrible for my mom and my sister because my dad was in the same hospital and he was on the same ward 3 years earlier. So I don't remember anything of that, but I did survive, and I ended up having a bone marrow transplant from an unrelated donor, and she lives in Germany. So she was 100% match. So from nurses I've talked to, that is very rare. So she's the same blood type as me. There's 8 markers that she had to match within my body that she had. And then to top it all off, she's blonde hair and blue-eyed like me, and she's psychic. So a day after I received my transplant, I went home on a day pass. And that is the very first time in my entire life that I had ever felt whole. I had always felt, I don't want to say empty, but I felt like I was missing a part of me. And when I got her bone marrow, I felt whole. And eventually I was discharged.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I remember the doctor and I were fighting, and good fighting, not fist fighting, but good fighting. And he said to me, now, Jane, chances are very high that you're going to relapse. So when you do, come back and we will look after you. And I said to him, nope, I'm not coming back. And he said, I understand, but when you do, come back and we'll look after you. And I said, no, I'm not coming back. I don't like the food. I don't like the smell of the hospital. I don't like the blankets. You know, everything just smells funky in hospitals. And he said, okay, but you know, and I said, yeah, but you know, and I never went back. And so a few years later, I don't know why, I was just drawn to Google the cancer that I had and the blood type that I had, just to see what their life expectancy was. I don't know why. And what I read was that the life expectancy is 5 years, and then something like 86% of people who survive 5 years, if they survive that, they can live for one more year, so that's 6 years, but that's a 25% chance of survival. Well, this July 31st, I celebrated my 19th year post-transplant, and I've never had cancer since.
Yay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So congratulations. So
Thank you.
with so the bone marrow, the psychic ability, we're going to get there. I wanted to share, though, before we move on to that, that's the really main gist of our show today. But when you looked at overcoming this illness, and as it puts you on your path, are you able to determine what it is that you needed to see or view or understand or get out of your body? Were you able to understand that from that level of a reason or what your action was to overcome that?
Well, when I was originally diagnosed, because I had only seen my dad die from cancer, I didn't know what it was to experience having cancer. And my dad had said that it was harder. It was harder for him to see people looking at him than it was to actually have cancer. And I agree with that, because I likened it, and this might sound very strange, but I've likened it to having a cold. So the thought of dying never actually crossed my mind. I thought, oh yeah, okay, I'm in the hospital for 3 months or whatever, that's fine, but I'm coming out of it. So the thought of dying never crossed my mind. And I remember a nurse telling me, there's, two kinds of people that when they get cancer. The first kind is, oh my goodness, I have the big C, I'm going to die. And they can't even say the word cancer. And she says, and then they do. And then the second kind are like, okay, what are we going to do about it? And so she, put me in the second category, but I think just not thinking that I was going to die, it never crossed my mind. And the second time I was in the hospital, I actually had a Reiki master that would come in every single day and do Reiki on me. So I feel that plays a big part in why I survived.
We know that Reiki really has been instrumental in opening people to their spirituality in so many different ways that it's hard to describe, but the Reiki is a gateway. And so when you became psychic then, your dad had passed a few years earlier. What was that like for you when you had your first psychic experience? Or was it your first? I mean, was this something that you had as a child and shut down? Or did it come online after that bone marrow transfusion?
Well, I was born psychic. I have just always been this way, but I feel that when I went through that journey, it just basically blasted open the doors to my abilities. And I remember being in the hospital and seeing spirits. Like, granted, I was on a lot of drugs. I just kind of joked that if you turned out the lights, I would glow green, you know, but...
you did see spirits there when you were living
I did.
in the hospital there, both times?
Yes. There was one... I've had I grew up in a very haunted house. And...
was it an old house?
Not really. It was built in the 50s, I believe, so it wasn't that... It wasn't, like, ancient old.
Okay.
It just had a very bad history to it. Just a lot of negativity to it. And there was a male spirit that was quite scary to me that lived in that house, and he came to the hospital room and he would sit in a chair and just stare at me, which was terrifying.
Yeah. What would you do? Yeah, okay, what was that like then? I mean, did you just shut it off? I mean, would you just, because it's so real for you, right? You're seeing it.
It is, definitely. It is very real. Like, he was sitting in a chair lunging forward at me, just eyes wide open, just glaring. And
this was a person who had already crossed over.
Yes.
Not a living spirit. Okay. We'll talk about that in a moment. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So so I guess, you know, every time I closed my eyes, I would see him. And so I would just keep my eyes open. Or if I mentioned it to my family or to friends, my sister would go to the nurse's station and say, oh, she's hallucinating, you know, because my sister is not, well, I don't know if she's a believer or not, but so then, you know, I would get a different medication to put me to sleep so I wouldn't have to see the spirits.
And interesting, though, you said you would keep your eyes open because you wouldn't see him when you closed your eyes. So your third eye, you're seeing him through your third eye. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, and I thought if I keep my eyes open, I just won't see him. But you're so full of drugs at that point that keeping your eyes open is virtually impossible. So.
Okay, so then the next phase of the journey then, you know, here you are, and these talents, these gifts are opened up even more through this process. And so, you know, we've got a question coming in here that'll lead us on a really interesting discussion. Okay. What would you do then as you're picking up the pieces to your life? You can look and say, wow, I see things a little bit more. Was that what it was like? Like you go home and you're living in your life. How did you balance your ability to walk in both worlds like this?
Well, it took me quite a while to become, I suppose the word would be healthy, because I had lost 20 pounds. I lost my muscle mass. And I'm kind of stubborn, so I want to do things on my own. I remember where I was living, I was having a lot of spirit activity. Particularly 911 kept phoning my home.
Oh, that's
which is very strange.
Okay, so this is
I
the
wasn't
house.
Phoning 911.
Okay, this is the house that was with the negative influence. Okay, and so you're back in it. And what would 911 dial, like the reverse 911, something like that?
So the phone would ring, and it was it was like ring, 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 ring. And I remember picking it up, and they said, this is 911, do you have an emergency? Oh. And I'm just looking around, and they said, no. And they said that somebody dialed 911 and hung up. And I'm like, well,
from that house, from your house. Wow.
From that house, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Were you living in this house alone?
No, I wasn't. But when that happened, I was alone. And then a few years later, I moved out of the house into a condo. And again, I received a 911 phone call in the same manner. And I was home alone when that had happened. And it was a completely different phone number.
What is your thoughts about that? Was this the same spirit? Did you ever identify it?
I didn't, but I felt that somebody in spirit form was wanting me to know that they were there.
Yeah.
I don't feel it was so much an emergency.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you're like a lightning rod because they know that you get this, probably because of the way that you reacted. Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I like to say that everywhere that I have lived, there has been spirits. But then I started to learn that I'm actually haunted because, like you said, I'm a lightning rod. Spirits see me and they're like, ooh, let's go talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing. So, as I became healthier, the activity wherever I lived increased. And I eventually learned to put boundaries with spirits. Just like you put boundaries with people. You know, you wouldn't expect or you wouldn't allow somebody to walk right up to your face into your personal space.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get that weird tingly feeling. And I did the same with spirits. That I just learned through friends and acquaintances and just my guide saying, oh, let's put up a boundary here.
Mm-hmm.
And I always ask for my abilities. I always say, let's blow this wide open. That's the term I say. I'm like, let's just blow this wide open. Because I always want to see or maybe not what, but how much more, or I want to experience everything with my abilities. I just want to experience it all. I just want it to all come at once, sort of thing. And so it is a fine balance to learn, this has appeared, what does this mean, sort of thing. It's definitely a learning curve.
Definitely a learning curve. A learning curve that you have, that you're well past 19 years later with it. Well, okay, so here you are. You've got the ability to see not only people who have crossed over that are disincarnates, right, that have maybe not made it to the light. And I'm certain that you help people cross over into the light. We can talk about that. On the flip side, you can also be a medium for people who are still on the planet, and also angels and spirit guides. So can you identify how you recognize the difference between all of these? Again, we're talking boundaries, that you set the boundaries, but you can tell the difference, right? You can feel a difference.
I can, yes. So, because I am a high vibrational person, people always tell me all my life that I look like an angel or I resemble an angel. I remember even being in the hospital and the nurse thought I was asleep, but I was faking it. But I had my eyes closed and I had no hair. And I remember her saying to my mom, she looks like an angel. But because of all of that, I can connect with people's angels and spirit guides. I just have that ability. So when I get somebody's first name and their permission, it's like I can stand within their energy field. And this might sound a little bit complicated, but my spiritual team, my guides, my spirits, my crystal beings, they talk to the client's spirit guides, their team and spirits, and then they relay back to me, and I translate to the client. So with a living being, it's just that. I just get the first name, and then I can feel the weight of how the person is standing on the earth. So it could be that they're grounded, they could be too grounded, which might seem strange. They might be floating above the earth. They might be floating an inch above the earth. It's really difficult to tell. But with deceased people, again with their first name, okay, so a living person, I can make it a little bit easier. So a living person, it would be like the person is standing next to me. So their energy feels, for the most part, it feels present. It feels quite solid is what I say. So you can tell, if somebody's standing behind you and you can feel that, that's how I feel that person to be. But a deceased person, how they feel to me is, again with their first name, that they feel like they're off in the distance. So if we were standing on a football field, well, maybe, I don't know the terms of football, so maybe that's not a good choice, but we can use miles. So if I'm standing at 0 mile and the living person is standing next to me, a deceased person will feel like a mile away, so quite the distance away. And then sometimes their energy is strong and sometimes it's not.
So now, can you clarify between a disincarnate, someone who has not made it into the light yet, and someone who's deceased but crossed into the light? Is there a difference there as well?
So the disincarnate, they feel, to me, they often feel translucent. It's very difficult to explain, but they feel like they are in between. They're neither here or they're neither there. It's just a lot of time they just feel like a name on a piece of paper is how they feel to me. They don't have any, there's just a lot of confusion around them. There's a lot of static energy around them. They feel to me like as if they are stuck in their own thoughts. That's how they feel. That they're not recognizing what's around them, that sort of thing. Does that make sense? Okay.
Because they might not even know that they are dead.
That's true. That's true. Yes. Right.
Okay. Yeah, very interesting.
Yes. And so a spirit that has crossed over into the light, for the most part, they feel happy. They always just seem so very free and very happy. They don't ever tell me how they died because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to them, and it doesn't matter to me. But they just feel, very joyful. And I've had people say, they'll ask me, "Oh, can you tell me about this person? They died whenever." And I'll be like, "Oh, they feel so happy. They feel so full of life. They feel so full of love, just so free." And the person's like, "Nope, that's not them." And I'm like, "But yes, it is. Like, this is, I'm not saying you're lying, but how they're not showing me how they were in life. They're showing me how they are in death." And I remember recently reading somebody that this happened to, and the woman kept saying, "No, that's not whoever it was." And then the person that had crossed over was in the light. She showed me an image of her standing behind some really tall legs and like making herself really small. And I said this to the client, and she said, "Yep, that's her." So So unfortunately, that spirit had to go into the body of, or into the memory of who she was when she was here, and it was an unpleasant memory. You know, she had lived an unpleasant life. But for the most part, they feel happy and carefree to me.
Free. Yes, beautiful. Yes. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that. So Jane Dance is a psychic medium. She has been sharing her story. Now we're going to move into a phase where she's going to take a couple of questions. If you are on the phone, you can hit *2 to raise your hand. And one question, Jane offers personal sessions. What we're going to do right now is just give you guys a little taste what Jane can tap into. So *2 will raise your hand. If you're on the instant teleseminar here, our webcast, you can also join by web call, just your computer mic, and that will allow you also to raise your hand and ask a question. Again, please keep it at one question. We won't be able to do follow-ups here because this is not a personal reading. Again, we'll talk about readings with Jane, what those are all about, and you have the opportunity to purchase a personal session, a personal reading with Jane. She's also going to be teaching a course on intuition, and we'll talk all about that. For right now, here's a question. I think we did answer the question coming in about how you can tell who you're dealing with, if it's a live person or a disincarnate, and we hope that was helpful, Patrick, for your question there. And let's see, so Brenda in Myrtle Beach, if you would like to jump on the phone call or the web call, just go back to the page that you joined and you'll be able to do that. Right now, let's go over to Kalamazoo, Michigan, and this is area code 269. It looks like Melissa. Is this Melissa? Phone caller, area code 269. All right, we'll move right along. Next phone number is Boca Raton. Oh, wait, there's Melissa. Hi, Melissa.
Okay. Hi. I was talking. I don't know what happened. I guess I don't know. Sorry.
Your phone was muted, but you are here now and you're loud and clear. So, so again, Jane, share, you need the person's name of the person, or Melissa's name.
Perfect. And Melissa, I just need your permission to read for you today.
Yes, you have my permission, Jane.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And what is your question?
Okay. I'm wondering if, I just went through I got scammed and I lost all my money and I have this huge debt that has come up and I just wondered if, hoping maybe my son would have some creative, he's on the other side, maybe have some creative idea or have some advice for me to maybe, I'm just going to leave it at that. I really,
what is your son's name? His first name?
Benjamin.
Okay. So as soon as you came on to the phone, I felt like I was holding my breath, and I feel like I want to run. I feel a lot of anxiety. I wrote down rush anxiety. So I feel like that this is coming from you. And it's funny because I'm taking shower breaths, like for breathing. So if you could take a great big deep breath in, that would help me and you. That would be wonderful if you could do that. So the interesting thing with my readings, and I'm not too sure why this is, but there's always synchronicity with clients. So it's either the day before, a few hours before, or the time of. So Benjamin is not a popular name, and I had just given a lady a reading yesterday or so, and her son's name is Benjamin. So
wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it happens, but it does. Okay, so can I ask how old he is? Or what age he was when he passed?
28.
Okay. He told me 26, so maybe he didn't like being 28. Okay, so...
he just left young he was anyway. He was a bright spirit.
So, as we're talking about him, I can see Benjamin putting his hands on your shoulder. Oh, I'm starting to get goosebumps, so that's confirmation. So he's putting his hands on your shoulders, and it's like he is breathing, I'm getting lots of goosebumps, that he's breathing warmth into you, and I feel like he's breathing calm into you. So you said you wanted to know how something creative to get through the debt. Okay, he's making me feel like he is running, he doesn't even want to talk about the debt. He's making me feel like he is running warm water through your body. So it would be like stepping into a really warm, delicious bath to soothe your body. And I feel like he is going to be, he's making me dizzy. He is going to help you because he knows that he knows about this debt. He knows. And he knows that this is too much for you to bear, to hold, to carry. So he's making me feel like, I keep hearing, I've got this, Mom. I've got this, Mom. So because you have been asking him for help, he is on it. So although I'm not telling you a creative way to release this debt, I feel like Benjamin is going to bring you creative ways. Because now he is one of your spirit guides. So if you can, keep breathing deep breaths in, because that is going to help him flow the money to you. Does that make sense?
Repeat that, please. Keep breathing. You want her to keep breathing that in.
Keep that in because, keep doing the deep breaths in because that will help the flow of money. So if you're taking shallow breaths, it's like you're halting, shallow breaths, worry, concern, anxiety.
Yeah, constriction.
So it's going to constrict the flow of money. So keep taking deep breaths in.
Okay.
I feel like Benjamin, he's on it. He's on it, Mom. I'm on it, Mom.
That's so
he's going to lift that for you.
That's really beautiful. And when you said that because my spirit guide, like some really big energy just came, I felt it come into my body, and I just felt really grounded, real, solidified.
Wow.
Said that was really...
So that, when you said that you felt this really warm energy come in, and I got the word hug.
And the warmth and the warm water, all of that was, it's significant even in the physical, because I'm freezing, and I don't even like to talk about it, but I'm living outside and I'm cold, and that was so comforting, because it was feeling he knows, and he just, he's offering comfort and warming me up, and just, it's just, I don't know, it just makes me feel wonderful, so I'm really grateful. Oh my gosh, and I'm laughing, so thank you.
Oh, that is beautiful sound to our ears, Melissa.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's like things just shifted and they feel lighter, and thank you. Thank you so much. And I really, Jane, I really want to, I'm going to have a miracle and have a session with you.
Perfect.
I want to do that. this was
You're very
really,
welcome.
this helps me to, really know, yes, that's the thing you need to do.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, how comforting, right? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Very
And
comfortable.
this is the great shift in the transformation, that a little awareness, what that awareness does from a session like this. Beautiful, Melissa.
Huge. Like, you're right. Oh my gosh. Thank you for taking my call. I just feel so blessed. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Oh, we feel that, and we feel your son,
Yes.
Benjamin. That's so beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, again, this is where the healing comes from, right? It could be so painful, but an experience like that connection, you can never take that away. You can never unfeel it. And we're feeling that connection there with Melissa and Benjamin. All right, let's move on. We have a few more callers. Again, we're going to go back to Boca Raton, Florida. Now it's time for you, and this looks like Martine. Hi, caller.
Okay. Oh, hi.
What's your name, please?
Martine. This is Martine, yes.
You are Martine. Okay, hi.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, hi. Thank you for this call. I have a question for, what's her name? Sorry.
Jane,
Jane.
Sorry. Yeah, I have a question for her. I work at a mental health organization, and I've been bombarded by dark energies, and I've had tons of clearings, and they still have to come back all the time. So when you spoke about boundaries earlier, I said, oh, wow, I'm interested to know how to stop this, Actually, I'm leaving this job because of this reason, too, because I'm going somewhere else, because I've been bombarded too much. And I spent so much money on clearings that I always get that back and take them home with me. It's like it's a fight. It has been a fight for me. So how do you see that?
And I have permission to read for you?
Sure, yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so the energy within your name, the first word that I'm being shown is depleted. So I know that you did say that you do feel exhausted and that you have negative energies around you, but I feel like you are completely depleted. And how I see that to be is, some girls write with their words in bubbles, and then they color in the bubbles, but your name, how it's written, the bubbles are empty. So it's just the outline. I can make out your name because of the outline around the letters. So, do you resonate with being an empath? Because I just saw energy going, shooting straight into your heart. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I was told that I was an empath, yeah.
Okay. So to make boundaries, what I do is, so what I do is I will speak to them and so if I don't want them to come into my bedroom at night while I'm sleeping, I will say, you are not allowed to come into my bedroom while I'm sleeping. You are not allowed to come into the bathroom with me. You are not allowed to come into the shower with me. You're not even allowed to come into my house. And I express it like I mean it. So, and then the ones that don't listen, I get mad. Like, I will speak in a harsher tone at them, and I will tell them to get out. So, for these negative energies, so a lot of times I will wear hematite bracelets, which, when I do readings, which protects the aura, and they ground you. But because I feel like you are a revolving door in a sense, that one entity comes in, you get rid of it, then the next one comes in, then you get rid of it, then the next one comes in, you get rid of it, so on and so forth. I feel like it's funny, your team in spirit just showed me it was like you were standing on a metal plate. And this metal plate, and it's all symbology with my readings, but this metal plate, I feel like it's like somebody gifted you that metal plate with ill intentions for you to stand on. And you're standing on it, and it's like you become a magnet. You become magnetized to the negative energies. Do you smudge the bottom of your feet?
If I do what? I'm sorry?
Do you smudge the bottom of your feet? So take sage and burn it.
Oh, no. When I do it, I don't do it on the bottom of the foot. No, I don't do it there. I just do it around my body. I have to try doing that too. Okay.
Okay. So I feel for you, I'm being shown like a smudge stick, and you're actually smudging the bottom of your feet. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that there are chakras on the foot, although I don't quite know where. But I'm being shown that you are smudging the bottom of your feet, because I feel like your feet are where these entities are being sucked into. Do you have foot problems?
I feel them on my feet all the time. Yeah, I feel them at the bottom of my feet. Yeah.
Do you have foot problems? Like, do you have, I don't know, like cramping feet, or do you have problems with your feet, like aching feet?
Not really. Not really. But sometimes I cannot sleep because of that. They bug me when I'm sleeping. Okay.
I am just being shown that it's important for you to smudge the bottom of your feet.
Very good. I will do that when I get home. Is there a possibility for you to clear me, or your angels to give me a clearing now?
I don't do clearings. No, I don't do clearings.
Oh, you don't do clearings? Okay.
Nope.
Yeah. All right.
And it's funny because I was just going to say, it's funny because when I see you walking, so I see you walking in bare feet. A lot of times Spirit shows me people in bare feet. I'm not sure why that is. I think it's just because there's a connection to the earth. But as you're walking, it's like there's a being, I'll just say, and he's got his hands wrapped around your right ankle, and you're pulling him unknowingly, and then there's another being hanging around your left ankle, and you're pulling him as you walk. So I just keep being shown for you to smudge the bottom of your feet. It's just like you wouldn't walk through your home with muddy feet. And so smudging the bottom of your feet just means that you're cutting off the energies that you've been walking through throughout the day, and you don't bring them into your home.
Yes. So I need to do that, and then do I need to clear before I get inside the house? Because the fridge is inside the house. Maybe I should keep it in my car, and then do it before I don't see how I can do that. Maybe I'll take it and go outside.
I would definitely smudge your home, whether it's with sage or with music, crystal bowls, even just singing, fresh air, all those wonderful things. But I'm being specifically shown that to smudge the bottom of your feet, whether it's in your car before you get into the house or just at the threshold, or do it before you go inside.
Yeah, smudge it. Yeah. So it's important for me to walk barefoot as well, you said?
No, I'm just showing people as barefoot because to me, it just, when you're barefoot, you're connected to the earth.
Yes, I've heard that before, yes. Yes, okay. I'll do that. Thank you so much, Jane.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Martine.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So very, very interesting. We can see how readings can really go all different directions and different perspectives. Very interesting about the feet. You know, it brings up Micronesian. I lived in Micronesia in Guam for almost a decade, and they have a tradition, the Micronesians. They don't let their baby, the newborn, the infants, touch the ground, the earth, until they're 1 year old.
Wow.
So I don't know if there's any correlation to that or what, but it's interesting, as you mentioned, that entities come in through the feet. I know there's going to be several people smudging the bottom of our feet. Okay. And so then, what do you have to say? I'd like to clarify so that this isn't a freaky thing or creeps anybody out, because the key is, with Martine, she could tell there's things that she's aware of, right? And so if people were to come to a session with you and then you see it, that helps bring that awareness to it. But our own energy, what do you have to say for, like you said, when you said you'll say out loud, you are not allowed to come into my bedroom. So if people are feeling weird, like waking up in the middle of the night, there could be a protocol that could be done to really keep our energy clean, our container clean. Can you share anything more on that in addition to what you said earlier?
On how to keep your energy clean?
Or, yeah, what can you say about that? Like, if we're feeling like, wow, like, I know entities, you could feel a little energy or jittery. You mentioned you're not allowed to come into my bedroom. You're not allowed to come into the bathroom, right? That's one way. But are there other things that we can do? Is it the shield of Archangel Michael? What would you say people can do to, when they feel their energy drain or something, that they can do to fortify themselves?
It's definitely it's more. Okay, so yes, you can call in Archangel Michael. I surround my home in crystals. A friend of mine is a Reiki master, and she gives me treatments every once in a while. You can have I know a lot of my friends take salt baths to remove salt baths. I'm not a bath person. I don't fit in the tub. But even just listening to music, like I listen to music every day, every single day, whether it's, meditative mind music or, my favorite music, anything like that. And actually, before I came on to the call with you, I was guided to, I listened to a quick meditation. It was a quick psychic meditation. So I did that. So there's many different
tools,
many different ways. Yes, there's many different tools. It's just whatever resonates with you.
Yes, and it's really raising your vibration and not sinking into fear or worry or doubt. The fear and the worry is actually a portal in for that as well. All right, enough of my questions here. Let's go to another person, because this is really fascinating. Jane Dance is here taking calls. We're going to go to Kim. Kim, hi Kim, in California. You are unmuted. Welcome.
Hi there. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Jane.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can. Yes.
Good. Thank you for the opportunity. I do give my permission to be read.
Thank you.
I have been, as you talk about the listening, receiving the messages from those that want to speak with me. I've been trying to journal. That's really what I've been focusing on. And I feel like is there anything any guidance I can get, or is there someone willing to help me? I'm sure they're all willing to help me. Just give me some advice on how to be more open to receiving that.
Okay. be more open. So for me, as I was, I didn't have any spiritual mentors. I just, for me, it was trial and error as to what works and what doesn't. And because I'm a very blunt person, my guides are very blunt as well. And it might sound strange, but it's just as easy as asking to be more open, you know, and just letting go and trusting that that is going to happen. So I liken the third eye to being obviously like a window. But some people, if you were to put some blinds on the window, some people are too open. So everybody can see in and they can see out. And so when you're too open, you will attract everything and everybody under the sun, good and bad. So if you want to be more open, you know, say that you want to be, announce to your guides that you want to be more open. You can start doing intuitive games, just to build that awareness. A game that I like to play, I still play intuitive games, is if I'm driving somewhere, there's a car in front of me, I will focus on the car in front of me. Not the person driving the car, but the car itself. And when we come to an intersection, I'll think, oh, that person's going to go right, or the car's going to go right. And then it will, or it won't. So the more that you do it, the more you're opening your intuition. Some people's intuition, it's like the blind is turned so that they can look out and people can't look in. So you're open but protected. They're like, you're open but protected, Jane. So you're open but protected. Do you have questions like how to open your intuition, or because everybody, do you know how you receive your intuition? Like, do you feel? Do you see? Do you know?
Yeah, I feel.
Sense? You feel? Okay.
Very much so.
You're
Feel
like,
is the strongest. Sometimes I hear, but feeling like just knowing is very much my strongest indicator. I'm most in touch with that.
So you're like me. So you're a clairvoyant. Because I feel. I do all of them, but feel's my main one. But you can start writing a journal. So if you get a feeling, you know, whatever it is, write it down. And then wait for it to happen, because chances are it will. And that will give you the confidence and the trust that what you're feeling is right. And I know a lot of people, me included, I would feel something, I would know something was going to happen, and then the doubt would kick in. And then you'd be like, no, you're wrong. But I knew. So I would recommend writing a journal just of the things that you feel.
That is so interesting, because as you're saying this, I'm thinking, what's interesting about this is I wait for words. I haven't connected that I should try to write what I feel, even though it is my strongest. And then when you're thinking about it, so it comes through. It's just so simple, you know.
It is. And you know, if you're waiting for words, like occasionally, so my visions, I will get maybe one or two words. It's very rare that I will get a full sentence, but mainly I will see an image. It's like a movie is playing in front of my eyes. And sometimes the movie is really fast. And I'm like, can you slow that down? I can't speak that fast. So, you know, you are in control of you're in control of your abilities. You're in control of how you feel things. And maybe once you start writing down your feelings, how you feel things to be, you know, maybe then the next step, they'll start showing you words. And then once you've mastered the words, maybe they'll give you tastes. And then you've mastered that.
It's really interesting. Because before I would have even correlated intuition to what was happening, I would explain things I did that didn't make any sense to anybody as, well, I was compelled to do it. So it sounds like that would actually be a better place to start than sitting and waiting for words.
Yes, it is for sure.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. And thank you for the intuitive game. I'm always looking for the 3 digits, and I literally can write them down as I'm getting home and have a story told to me. But I haven't, the game would be fun. It's an interesting thing to do. So I appreciate that.
Yes. You're very welcome.
Thank you,
well,
Kim.
Thank you. I appreciate being called on and the information and the smile you put on my face. Thank you. And much love to all on the call. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Kim. Awesome. We have time for a few more callers, but I first want to talk about an upcoming webinar that we have with you, Jane. The date is on our webpage, so follow along if you'd like, listeners. You can click on the special offer button. There's actually 2 things. In the special offer, you'll see the psychic reading, but there's also a course, and these courses are $33, and they are lessons on how you can improve your intuition. This one is how listening can increase your intuition. So Jane, talk a little bit about this webinar coming up. That's a great way for people to learn more about their own innate abilities and hone them even stronger with someone like you who already knows how to do it. You're a great teacher and a great guide for this. And so that's 2 hours, and it will be recorded. But what are we going to learn in that one?
Okay, so as I said earlier, I didn't have a spiritual mentor to learn what my gifts were. I had asked, but nobody showed up. But so I just learned this along the way. And so a lot of people I find feel like how Kim has just said, she is waiting for words to show up. So I feel that a lot of people think that intuition is just like in the head or in the third eye, but it's actually how I feel that it's actually expanded out to the environment around the body. So it's, you know, listening to the emotion, like when I'm angry, electronics go crazy. So I have a very difficult time with electronics. So I'm affecting that, right? So it's the intuition. Yes. I can give a quick example that just to help explain the intuition. Yesterday, I was getting this scratchy feeling outside of my body, like in the air around me, and I had to go and renew my car insurance. It doesn't expire until the end of December, and I really didn't want to go outside, but the scratchy feeling of like the air around was just scratchy, and it was just, I kept saying, I'm not going out today, but it intensified, and so I was listening to it. And like, what is the scratchiness around? And I decided to go, and then of course, there's construction outside of the building, so making it difficult, and the scratchiness was intensifying. And I just kept listening to it. And when I made it into the building, I actually received a 10% discount for driving under 5,000 kilometers in the year. And then I actually received another discount for renewing my insurance 45 days before it was to expire, which I didn't know about that one. So had I not listened to that sketchy awfulness, it was awful, but I'm like, okay, I wouldn't have received that other discount. So intuition, I feel it expands beyond our actual physical body. It expands into our emotions. It expands into the environment. The environment speaks to us. So that is pretty much what the course is about.
Okay, so very interesting. And this is really tuning in to our physical body as well. And just paying attention to everything about our own energy, because that is information. And then knowing what is ours versus what is not ours.
Yes.
When you were dealing with the scratchiness, so you felt it like something, so it was like edging you to take action, right? You just knew, or you were following the thread. Mm-hmm.
It was, and that's actually the first time I felt that scratchiness. It was just like rubbing up against a prickly bush. That's how it felt.
Interesting.
And it was like, it's not a pleasant feeling. I don't recommend people do that, but it was just this, and I had plans, like yesterday, I am not going out of the house. I've been out of the house every day this week. I'm not going out. And then it kept coming up. Go get your insurance. And I'm like, it doesn't run out until December 27th. I don't need to do it. And then that prickly sensation.
That's listening. That's listening. Yes.
That is listening. And I received two discounts.
Yes.
Who knew?
So this is our way to abundance. So it's almost as if your guides, your higher self, is actually giving you the information through your body. So that's really what we're talking about here, is tuning in to, and even you and I, when you and I got together, we did a pre-call, and you were saying something, feeling a little apprehensive, and then when we talked, we figured out you were actually feeling anxiety that I was going through.
Yes.
Right? This was before the U.S. election. And I'm an empath, and everyone was feeling this pre-election anxiety, and you picked up on that. Wow.
And
see, isn't it?
Happens,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, that happens all the time. When I read somebody, it happens all the time. And I will, like a day before, I will start feeling how the person is feeling, or I'll be, like I read a lady a couple days ago, and for 2 whole days I had anxiety, and that's not me. I don't have anxiety. And I was freaking out and stressing out, and I'm like, and I said to myself, just remove whoever this belongs to, take it off of me. It's not mine. Take it off. And when we connected, I said to her, I'm just curious, have you been really anxious today, or do you have nervousness? And I'll write down stuff before I actually connect with the client. And she said, yeah, I'm going through a terrible time. I have PTSD. I'm like, oh, okay, now I understand. So it is just listening. I don't even know how it happens. I find it fascinating. I'll be the first person to say, I don't know how this happens, but I find it fascinating. I'm the first person, like, I have no idea.
Yes, and this goes both ways. It really does. I had a dream, a very vivid dream, where in the dream I looked in my rearview mirror, and there was a police car with the lights. And you know that feeling, like in real life, when that happens, you kind of catch your breath. In the dream, I woke up and I was like, oh. And do you know that very same day, I'm in my car, driving on the highway, and at this point where I'm going to get into the HOV, high occupancy vehicle lane, but it's only for motorcycles at this point, and I know in my truth that I'm there 3 miles earlier than I'm supposed to, but I get in the lane anyway. As I'm getting in the lane, I remember the dream, but I overrode it. I did it anyway. And guess what? There's a motorcycle cop with lights on behind me. It was real.
Oh, dear.
And so that's just a case in point of, we can pay attention to the signals, or we can ignore and override the signals.
Yes, it's very true.
Let's pay attention. Let's learn how to listen. All right, so if you would like to join Jane, and I'll be there with Jane, if you'd like to join us in this webinar, it's going to be really fun, and it's all available now. You can sign up and register for that. That is an event that's coming up. The date is on the webpage, and it's recorded. All of these events are recorded, so you can enjoy the information in the container, in the group energy, whether you're live or listening to the replay. It's really quite beautiful how special these are. So that's coming up. And again, if you'd like a personal reading with Jane, Jane is opening her calendar for that. So we've seen a little bit about what goes on in these sessions, but tell us how long these are, and we can see what you do in just a few minutes with people. Wow, we've got a whole session in line. So tell us what that's like for people.
So I offer 1 hour readings, and so as you can see through what I do, I have no control over the readings. So usually so my readings are an active conversation. So we talk about whatever, and as we talk, the client's angelic team talk to me, and then I translate what I see to the client. There's really, I have no control where the conversation goes. Sometimes people will have a specific area that they want to talk about, but Spirit's like, yeah, this area is fine. Let's talk about this elephant in the room. So I like to say that I dredge people's souls, and I bring to the surface what needs to be healed and what needs light. So I have been told that I can alter people's DNA, and again, I don't know how that happens. I just accept that it does. So each reading is just very different, but everybody has, for the most part, people have told me that they feel so much lighter and healed and euphoric after a session. I don't know what else to say, but that's
yes. And we saw that today, right, with Melissa, and the great love that connection can never go backwards. There was great healing, there was great transformation, and so this is perfect. And you really help people who want that connection. They want resolution. They want to know someone is okay. They want to connect with their guides and angels even more. So if someone comes to you and they don't know who their guides are you able to help them with that?
I'm generally not. I find that, I don't even know who mine are, and it doesn't really, I know who certain spirit guides are.
Mm-hmm.
I do hear them, so I only hear one voice, and it's just very monotone. There's no, I can't tell if it's male or female. It's just one voice that comes through. Mm-hmm. I like to think that each person's team has a spokesperson, and that's the spokesperson that talks to me. So generally, I'm not told their names. I'm not told who they are. Because I feel that is mainly a human thing. It's, but to spirit, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they are.
Yes.
But sometimes if there is a deceased loved one that comes through, sometimes I'll see the word grandma or grandmother or mom. I won't get the actual name until the client gives me the name.
Okay. Yeah. Very, very interesting. And we thank you so much for being available, for sharing your gifts and this communication, walking truly with a foot in both worlds, the physical and the spirit. All right, so Jane Dance is opening her calendar for these personal sessions. Is this good? Are you booking now? So if someone orders, they're going to get in the next week or so?
Yes, I am booking into December, and I am taking this weekend off. So I will be answering emails on Monday.
Great. Okay, so when you get your when you purchase Jane's special offer for a personal reading, you're going to email her and get that all scheduled. And so go ahead and do that and sign up. And also, again, the Mastery Empowerment course. Again, these are to increase your intuition with Jane Dance. Both of those items are there and available for you all, really to, connect with your higher self even more, do this inner journey with someone who has skills to give you that translation of what the spirit realm is offering you. So thank you for that. All right, well, we have another minute here. Let's go to, I think it's Bryn in Philadelphia. Bryn, you are unmuted. Hello. Wait, hold on. Now you're unmuted. Hi, Bryn. Hi, Bryn. It says Bryn, but it could be someone else. We have our caller, area code 26267. We can hear you. Hello.
Hi! Oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I'm just eating dinner with my son, and then I hear my name and we're listening to you. This is unbelievable. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. Okay, Jane, this is amazing. Hi. My name is Bryn, and I'm really excited, as you can tell. And yes, I have to give you my permission to read me. And I'm curious about. Yeah, sure. And I'm curious about my dad, who's passed over a couple of years ago. And so I was hoping that you might have some insight or feedback or anything about him. I try to talk to him, but I don't. He's given me signs before by knocking over lamps, which I think is hysterical because he broke some lampshades. But that's all I'm going to ever really get from him.
And what is your dad's first name?
Is Bill, or it's William, but Bill.
Which name was he known more by? Bill?
Bill.
Okay. So, and how long ago did he pass?
2017, June 2017.
Okay. Okay. So, your dad has, how he feels to me, okay. I don't know if this will make sense, but they're showing me that he has good stock. So he comes from good stock. So he has, he feels very proud, very strong is how he feels to me. And the interesting thing is I can feel how people are, how they stand in their name. It might sound a little complicated, but it's like he lives his whole existence within the B of his name, and then the ILL, he just kind of tosses to the side. So he feels very, they're showing me the word rugged, so I don't know if that resonates with you, but he just feels very strong, very, what I'd like to say is, if he was standing in person form in front of me and somebody came and ran at him, they would fall off and he would still be standing strong. So he has really good, solid weight and strength to him. Does that make sense?
Well, yes, and interesting you brought up the stock part because my last name is Bowersock, and it actually means farmer stock. And,
oh my goodness.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So spirit tends to talk through me. They use my words whether I know it or not. Because a lot of people say, oh, I can't believe you said that, this, that, and the other. Okay. So you're looking for, I feel like your dad is, you said that he knocks over lamps and he's actually having fun doing that. He's showing me, like he's turning his head like a little kid and kind of sniggering, like hee 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 kind of thing, that he's having fun doing that. You need to tell him to stop breaking the lampshades kind of thing. I don't feel like he actually means to break the lampshades, but he doesn't, I heard he's playing with his power. So he's having fun being in spirit form, which might sound strange to some listeners, but he is having fun. He feels very, just very protective and very fun-loving. Yeah, that's how he feels. So I feel like whatever, he's having fun manipulating energies. He is. And it's not malicious. He's not doing it to be mean, but it's like, oh, look what I can do. Hey, Bryn, look what I can do. Oh, I knocked over that. Yep, I take credit for that. Yep, that was also me. That was. So he is very happy that he can communicate to you like this.
Great.
And he's making you feel like everything that you say, he's like, watch your words, watch your words. And he said it very, like, watch your words, because everything you say, he can hear.
Interesting.
Wow.
Okay. Does he, I don't know, like, is there anything he wants to say to me about, like, what I'm doing for my professional career thing, or am my investments a smart idea? Any feedback that he might have in that? Because he was very savvy and smart in those areas.
What do you do as a career?
I'm a coach, and I also have my insurance, life insurance and health insurance licenses, and I only got those because he did that, and I got those 2 months after he passed away. I guess carrying on, perhaps him, I'm not sure.
So you do life insurance and health insurance, did you say?
Yeah, but I'm also a coach.
Yeah. I'm writing life insurance, health insurance, and I wrote down coach, and he's like, yeah, just cross off the coach.
Really?
So,
okay.
Because you are daddy's little girl, that you are. So you are carrying along, the word coach has very little energy to it, how I feel it to be, because I can feel energy with words. And life insurance, health insurance, I couldn't write it fast enough because he just said cross off coach. So, with you doing the insurance, in a sense, you are in a partnership with your dad. Only your dad is in spirit form. And he is making me feel like you are in a partnership with your dad. Because you just said that that's what he did, and you're carrying it on for him. So when you go to the door, or if you're talking to somebody, he's actually going to be standing next to you. And he's shown me, like, he's in a suit, and he's dressed to the nines, and he's very proud, and he's like, we've got this, and we're going to do it, and they're going to sign, and, like, he's just very invested, which is kind of funny, because when you buy life insurance, you're invested in it, but he's just very invested. He's like, Coach, you can do that on the side. You can do that later. You can do that later.
Thanks, Dad. Okay. It's funny. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Bryn. Thank you, Bryn. And so you said that you got this insurance job after your dad transitioned?
Correct. Yes.
That was a gift. Isn't that amazing? I've seen that time and time again. This is some of the gifts that come to us. I had it when my mom passed, and wow, it's just really interesting. And there your dad doing it for you. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's going to be with you every step of the way.
Yeah.
Basically, you're in partnership.
Yeah, it is. It's really, it's wonderful. Thanks, Dad. Thank you, you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bryn. Thank you. All right. Wow, Jane Dance, that was amazing watching you work. And we are already out of time for our episode today, but we're excited about the event that we have coming up with you. And we're going to have you back again. We're going to bring you back, and you can chat more with our audience and help them heal and answer questions and really connect to the heavenly realms. Yes, beautiful. Well, as we say goodbye today, Jane, I want to thank you one more time for the beautiful information. Welcome to this beautiful community. We are excited to learn from you and to be guided from you. And as we close, would you like to share anything that we might not have mentioned yet today that you feel prominent at this time?
I also read animals as well. So I can also read living or deceased animals. And again, it's just by using their name and a picture. A picture is not necessary, but so if anybody wants their animals read, I can also do that as well.
Yes, wonderful. That is pretty popular with our audience as well. We know people who are definitely pet lovers and miss their pets, so that's perfect. All right. Well, the way that you can connect with Jane Dance is here on the special offer button. Both of those items are available, a reading as well as a course coming up soon. Jane, thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been a beautiful quantum conversation, and I think that we are all feeling connected to our loved ones on the other side. Thank you.
Thank you. This is it's been such a great opportunity, and I appreciate everything that you do and everything that everybody does out there in the world. So thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate you.
Oh, we appreciate you, and we appreciate all you listeners. We are here creating New Earth, and so we say, hold your vision of New Earth, hold it, and you will be inspired. You are surrounded by guides, angels, and the spirit realm who are assisting you. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you, Loren. I appreciate you so much.
Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you as well.
All right. And now it is time to dance our way to the cosmic heart, and we like to have a little fun. So just get up and move your body, feel your energy, and send your New Earth vision across the universe to the cosmic heart. Thank you for listening to this quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.